G'day everyone and welcome to another breakdown of my work. Today we're going to have a look at an advert that I filmed here for a local company called Det Gule Hus and break it down step by step and go a little bit further into the technicals and the intentions and reasons why we shot some of the frames that we did. So I'm going to jump straight over to DaVinci Resolve and have a look at the advert now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play the advert through so you can get an understanding of what we're looking at here, and then I'm going to go down individually and look at scene by scene and break them down further. Alright, so if we jump back to the beginning of that video and we'll jump over to the colors tab and we'll go a little bit deeper into this. So the intention behind this, as you can probably understand of the advert, was that you don't have to hustle to sell your stuff on the street, so you can sell it at this place called Det Gule Hus, period. So initially what we wanted to do was to film this in a darker and rainier environment. Now that didn't really permit us to do that because we probably needed more people and to protect the gear a little bit more if we're going to film outside in the rain. It makes things increasingly more difficult. One, to get audio, two, to get video, lights, etc. Because I was working primarily by myself with this one, it was good that it wasn't raining. But we had an overcast day, which is great enough, and it was raining before, so you get an impression that it's cold and, well, was rainy. And it's, you know, a bugger to sit outside when you are in the cold like this to try and sell your stuff to hustle for some cash. We've all been there before, maybe. Just so you probably understand that till sales means for sale, but just so you know, that's what that sign says there. So getting on to the technical aspect a little bit here, because it's an overcast day, we do often have flatter images. That means things are evenly or better lit somewhat. So for some it's a plus, for others it's not. If we're working in direct sunlight here, that would be even more difficult. But in this case, this is fine. However, with overcast days, things appear a lot flatter, and as they do here. So in this image, we needed to expose Krista a little bit more to, or Krista is our subject here, Krista a little bit more from our background. So what I did here was I just put up a small little high intensity LED Fresnel light, put it a bit on the spot and just put it on full power and shone it at Krista. And as you can see here, we are experiencing a little bit of the light reflection coming on here. We see some shadow going on over here. And there is a little bit of exposure lift just on Krista's face here. It's very subtle, but again, without it, you would notice the difference definitely. I don't have a picture without it because, well, that was the direction. We stuck to a storyboard with this advert here just because we had such very little time and it was good just to go tsack, tsack, tsack and move on to the next one when we were happy with this scene. What you probably don't see initially here is because it's super low budget, we don't have a wind machine. So actually what I did was I went around here, attached the sign with a little string, and that's what pushed that sign over here. You'll probably see it now as it stops. As we go down here, we can zoom in a little bit. We can see that string on there. Classic, absolute classic. Got to do what you got to do to get the effect. But that was the effect and it worked well, and yeah, people understand what's going on here. So talking about the composition, it's locked off. Krista's out here on the left hand side of the screen. So be it. That's the direction we're going for here. It gives it a bit of room for this sign to start moving over here, and also it, you know, Krista looks like he is alone and cold. That's the effect. Moving straight along to the next scene, cut, we have a little bit more movement here going on. So this is great. We had the assistance from Zoe. Hi, Zoe. Zoe's a friend of ours from the local area. She helped orchestrate this movement beautifully, where Krista stops the sign from moving, and then all of a sudden he's magically out the front of Det Gule Hus. So panning action. I have a 50mm lens going on here. Pretty simple direction. Stop the sign. Out the front of the sign of the place. Okay. Vintage, used, and environmentally friendly. Quick technical aspect here. Now that you probably see it, there's a bit of shadow on the wheat. Little wheat bale that's up here. That's because we are pushing light onto the sign here. The sign is up here. You can probably see on the levels here we've got some, which is not often what you see, but we've got definitely the DET up in these levels here, which is quite funny to see. I haven't seen that before. We've got a lot of level on the sign here, and that was intentional so that your eyes are drawn towards the sign because it's the lightest part of the screen here. That's on spot. That's the same light that was lighting Krista in the first scene here. That's just lighting the sign up on this screen here, which is great. Moving right along, we're going to jump over to the inside. He's gone here. He's decided, okay, well, I'm going to take all of my stuff off the outside table, not be in the cold, and put all of my stuff inside on the shelf. That's the typewriter, is what we see from here. It connects us to the inside shot. And that's the only shot that we have there because it's super simple, quick. It's a really quick spot. Then the next scene is Krista sitting at his breakfast table, chilling. So we're using mixed lights here. I turned off the house lights because we don't like those top-down ugly lights. We're using the window that we've got here and the window that's there. I didn't put any lights outside the window, but I was thinking of doing it, but it was just a little bit technically difficult, and also the time didn't allow for us to do that. But I did set up a light behind Krista here and shine it at his back just to separate him from the background here. And you can also see that that light is giving some long shadows here on each of the products. So we're going for, that homely look, and we're actually using the kitchenette at Det Gule Hus for this one because the location was perfect for that. So lucky for us, we had everything there and available for us to use. So composition again, Krista's a little bit cut off here because the room was quite small. I wanted to give it a little bit of depth. I'm shooting kind of into that corner of the room there just to give a little bit of interest around the whole room. We're getting some, from the light that's up above here, getting some interest just on these items here. There's definitely lots of nice diffused daylight exposure just to bring up the levels on Krista, and that looks great, that scene. Then we jump to the phone scene. So we've got our coffee cup, we've got that long shadow as we see here before. The phone has a green screen on here, so we can get that ba-ding on the phone here. And then we move over to the close-up of Krista. Again, shooting relatively in the same position. Here I didn't move the camera at all. I just switched lenses out from a 15mm, which is this one, and then to the 35mm, I believe, which gives us this nice compressed background look. And again, giving Krista, that daylight coming in here, a little bit of the separation in the background there, and that completes our shot there. And then to the logo. Yeah. So I'm going to stop right there and say that if you enjoyed that, give us some feedback, of course. It was a quick breakdown. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go further and deeper into the breakdown and talk a little bit more on the technical aspects of what I used, how I used it, and a bit of the storyboarding planning over on my Patreon page. So that is at www.patreon.com/heapsgoodproductions. and you'll find other breakdowns and more deeper insights, but particularly linked to this advert here. I'll show some behind the scenes photos and a couple of the other videos that weren't shot here, but just to talk about, you know, some of the technical pitfalls and some of the technical pluses and happy accidents that we went through. Until then, yeah, share your thoughts. Maybe hit that like button. We're all slaves to the like button, but I guess it's important. And if you like my content, yeah, feel free to subscribe and follow me on Patreon. And also follow me on and subscribe on YouTube here too. Excellent. That's it for me today for this one. I'll see you later. Hooroo.